It's Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we have a Lost and Grounded and Brooklyn Brewery Face in the Crowd. It's a dry hopped sour coming in at 5.2% ABV. Looks very nice. I picked this up in Tesco. I've kind of missed this one, to be honest. I think it's been out a long time, but I never got round to picking it up. So here we go. Without further ado. Nice bit of smoke on the can opening, beer in the glass. It's funny, the pink beetles or the pink ladybirds on the can had me think that it was going to be pink, and when I started pouring it out I was almost like looking at it in somewhat shock because it's not pink. But just the can deceiving me. But it didn't say that there's any fruits in the beer, so maybe it's just me being silly, and I should have realised that it was not going to be a pink beer. I tell you what though, for a sour, it's got a very large head, 4-finger white head. Good levels of carbonation, as sours do. Carbonation sticking a little bit to the glass. Hazy looking beer. But yeah, normally, I mean, for a sour, normally the head dissipates very quickly. Just the pure nature of this style of beer just makes the head go flat, kind of very quickly normally. So I'm just wondering what's going on with this. Let's get the aroma. It's almost tropical. Well, it would be if it's a dry hop sour. Flavour, aroma, flavour. It's just like really zesty. And I mean really zesty lemon, really zesty lemon and lime. It smells interesting. Let's dive in. Cheers everyone. It's drinkable, it's refreshing. It's definitely got a kind of a big kind of lemony flavour to it. But I'm looking for the sourness. I'm waiting for the sourness to kind of like a lot of you have seen me review a sour beer and I'm like, whoa, blimey, that's really sour. And I'm just not doing it with this beer. It's just not. It's more like a dry hop pale ale or something. It's, yeah, another Tesco beer, that hasn't really hit the heights. And it's interesting, I was watching a beer review, I was watching some YouTube, and there's been a bit of controversy at the moment with certain beer reviewers reviewing certain Tesco beers, certain Brewdog Tesco beers, and there's a bit of back and forth, people making videos about each other, and nothing to do with me. Nobody's making videos about me, and I'm not making videos about other people. But there's a bit going back and forth with a couple of beer channels on YouTube, and one's basically saying that the beers in Tesco are shocking, and there's another channel which are basically saying that some of the beers are okay, which I will say that I've had a fair few really, really good beers from this Tesco range. But equally, I've had some shockers, some real shockers. And this is just an example of something which, it's nice. It's a nice beer. It's like a dry hop pale ale or something. Dry hop golden ale, maybe, if you want to. But most definitely, it's not a sour. It's just miles off a sour. I mean, you can see it's not. If you're a brewer, a home brewer, if you've been studying beer for years, you've only got to look at the lacing on that glass to realise that something's not quite right here. It's definitely not a sour. Sours, the head dissipates really quickly, and I think that's got a lot to do with the lactobacillus that's in the beer. But if you gave me this glass of beer, let's say you were just a face in the crowd, as they called the beer. If you were a face in the crowd and you come up to me and you said, Simon, try this beer, or if you're a mate who just says, try this, didn't tell me what it was, I'd be quite impressed. I'd be quite impressed with it. And then afterwards you say, it's a sour, and I'd go, really? It's a sour? No way, no way. And then show me the can and I go, oh, blimey, they've got it wrong. Orange now, real kind of orange coming through. Fantastic drinkability, nice carbonation. I would buy this again and just tell myself it was a pale ale. I would buy 4 of these and drink 4 of these in the garden for 5.2% ABV and just tell myself it was a dry hop pale ale or a dry hopped IPA, and just let my mind forget that I ever read that it said sour. But I need to rate it. I need to rate it. It's been brewed with barley malt, wheat malt, flaked oats, hops and yeast. Collaboration brew between Lost and Crowded and Brooklyn Brewery. They're based in Bristol. I actually contacted these guys recently in an email, and they never got back to me, which I find quite strange, but there we are. I'm going to have to rate it as a sour, guys. I'm going to have to rate it as a sour. But just letting you know, as I mentioned earlier, I really like it. The beer in the glass, I think is terrific. But rating it as a sour, as a customer in Tesco, might have read a few books on sours, might have tried a few sours, been really impressed by sour beer. Then they pick up a beer, this beer, and they get confused, and there's no, I mean, for somebody who's getting into beer, the confusion is probably enough to put them off craft beer and go back to drinking ordinary stuff. So I think there needs to be critics, people who are critical about certain styles and what certain styles should taste like. This sour beer should be pulling my face off. It should be kind of like, whoa, when you have a sherbet lemon as a kid and all the sherbet breaks up in the middle and you're like, oh my goodness, this is really sour. It should be doing that to my face, but quite clearly it's not. It's a bit, but it's very nice. I'll mention it one more time, it's very nice, but I have to rate it. Facing the Crowd, Lost and Grounded, Brooklyn Brewery. They need to go back to basics with this one. Not sour at all. For that reason, 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. But as a blind taste test, didn't know anything about the beer, handed me this beer in a bar, said try this, I'd go, oof, I want another one. So you know, make of that as you will. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.